Well, is it just me or is this blurred? I think it's these glasses. That's because the light is coming from here. I've had to work quite hard to find somewhere. Um, the lens is there, to find somewhere that is light enough for me to film in. We've got all the shutters closed. It's 39 outside and it's actually quite warm indoors. Neither of us was up early enough to open up and let in cool air, if there was any cool air, I don't know. So it's 25 indoors, which is a bit warm, and I've come away from the fan, so I'm beginning to glow, as they say in old-fashioned places. I started to have a look for some Brexit benefits to be able to think about those, talk about those, and couldn't find any really. And it's not me being difficult, I don't think. I watched or saw something, Jacob Rees-Mogg talking about that you can now have higher wattage vacuum cleaners. And I know that that was really important, and you know that all of those Brexiteers wanted that. And for the people that can still afford a sparkling wine, you can have it in a plastic bottle. What else? I can't remember what else he was. Something about cheese. Something about cheese, and fish fingers were about to go up, but now they're going to be 2% cheaper. That's for the people that can afford fish fingers. I don't think fish fingers are that cheap nowadays compared to when I was young. You know, like fish and chips was a really cheap and easy meal, and it isn't nowadays. I think people that eat fish and chips are not the people that are struggling desperately to pay their bills. Fish and chips would probably be a luxury. So yeah, I mean, my normal vlogs, I'm going to take my shoes off and stand on the tiles. Oh, that's better. Too hot. My normal vlogs are not about Brexit. They're not. I have talked about Brexit in the past, but then that was August, September, October time when I was new to this. And then I moved the vlog on and made it more France centric, and it's more about everyday stuff and stuff that's going on for me. And of course, at the time I did the Europe, the tailback to Europe vlog in my nightdress. I'd just come back from the UK and flown through customs, immigration, whatever you want to call it, and boarded a boat 2 hours before we were due to sail. So it was a very easy ride for me, like about 2 or 3 days before it then went tits up. So I thought that I would do this just to let you know that if you have subscribed because of me talking about Brexit, as you will have seen since then, you're not going to get a lot of that, and so you know, feel free to unsubscribe. Yeah, so I really can't. You know, some of the stuff that for benefits of Brexit that came up when I was looking were Boris Johnson in January 2022 talking about, you know, gaining control of our borders. Well, you haven't. You haven't gained control of your borders. You're not. It's not. I think that many, and it's just my opinion, many people who voted for Brexit said that they wanted to stop all those immigrants coming from France and coming across the Channel, migrants. I mean, they're refugees. They're fleeing from war. Very few of them are economic migrants. I'm an economic migrant. I'm here as an economic migrant because it is more cost effective for me to live here. So I am a migrant. But the people that voted for Brexit in the main were wanting to stop all those nasty people coming across and taking our jobs and taking our benefits. I don't know how you can do that. Coming over here and taking our jobs and our benefits. Okay. But it hasn't stopped them. It hasn't stopped them. Oh, I can't remember the number. Was it 600 odd? 600 refugees landed on the shores of the UK yesterday in their dinghies. And your Brexit hasn't stopped that. It doesn't create a wall in the channel and they all come and it says, no, you can't come any further. We've controlled our borders. That doesn't happen. They're still coming. Even the threat of Rwanda hasn't stopped them. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That it actually feels more attractive to take the risk of coming across the channel, to take the risk of being sent to Rwanda, than being in a war zone where you risk being killed or your family risks being killed. That's what it tells you. So your control of your borders is making no fucking difference to the dinghies coming across. It makes no difference. Obviously, it has made a difference controlling your borders because you're controlling it for yourselves as well. So now you can't whisk through the border like you used to. There's a lot more paperwork involved, and we talked about that the other day, so I'm not going to repeat it. The other things about Brexit that concern me and will gradually come out in the wash, because COVID masked what Brexit was doing. So there's been this whole COVID that sort of covered up the impact of Brexit. But many of the laws, the European laws, protect your employment rights and protect you from a lot of the health and safety laws are European, employment rights are European, maternity rights are European. All of those are to protect the workers. And what I'm hearing, and I can't remember, is it Liz fucking Truss? Or is it Priti Patel? Which one is it? Liz fucking Truss talking about she's going to get rid of the unions. She's going to ban the unions. Well, it's the unions who protect your employment rights. It's the unions that fight for your rights. Do you really want that to happen? Well, it's pointless me saying, do you really want that to happen? Because it is going to happen, because you actually don't have any say in who becomes the next leader. It'll be Liz fucking Truss. Very unlikely to be Rishi Sunak because he's brown, as Michael Lambert said. He's of foreign origin. That would be a first for a prime minister in the UK. So he's on the back foot anyway. But she says she's going to get rid of the unions. Well, your human rights, your employment rights, your health and safety are all at risk and have been already at risk. I think the whole scenario around when there was a massive food chain problem, the government talked about increasing driving hours for lorry drivers. They'd never have got away with that if you were in the European Union, because that is a law, a European law. This is how many hours you can drive for before you have to have a break. This is how many hours you can drive for before you have to have a long break and a sleep or a rest break. So all of that's in European law. Now you've moved out of the union, the government can say, oh, you can drive for longer. It doesn't make you any safer driving for longer. Yes, it might possibly improve the food chain, but it's not going to improve the lorry drivers' situation when they're already at risk of falling asleep at the wheel. It's the same with nurses, already at risk of falling asleep in their job. Junior doctors already at risk of falling asleep on the job. Firemen already at risk of falling asleep on the job. Oh, it's all been pared down and it's not going to get better. Oh, I wish I'd written a script. So what was the other thing? Boris Johnson years and years ago talked about, and I can't remember which way round it was, the banana. That, you know, a law that says you can't have straight bananas. I mean, that was just bollocks. That was just a myth. But people ran with it. People believed it. The Daily Mail readers believed it. The Daily Mail readers believe what the Daily Mail tell them. The Sun readers believe what the Sun tells them. And somebody said to me in comments, it's, what did they say? That I was very polite to call them readers. But the people that look at these, and they're not newspapers, they're pieces of shit, they're not newspapers, but the people that look at these and take it all on board, believe it. It's just madness, absolute madness. So unless something rears its ugly head, unless something big happens, this for now will be my last Brexsick vlog. And on that note, I'm going to go back to sit by the fan because it is too warm, although having my feet on a tiled floor feels more comfortable. So thanks once again for your subscriptions. Thanks for your indulgence. Thanks for all your comments. There's so many now. I'm not getting to them to be able to actually. I used to be able to write a comment or reply, and I'm not going to be able to do that now. So if I haven't written a reply, it's because there's too many for me to reply to. But hopefully I've at least acknowledged your comments because I appreciate them. Merci. Bonne journée.